I'm a bit of a contrarian, I would say, and I started my career over 20 years ago now. Had a good run at Intel Corporation in the factory. I was an engineer. But I was thinking, this is not, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I want it to be in the future for a baby and not for a pager. I grew up in a family where, we didn't have a ton of extra money. We were pretty frugal. My parents were hardworking. My dad grew up on a ranch. My mom grew up in Portugal, but she immigrated to the US in her early teens. So I was raised thinking I need to be financially independent. I thought business school would be a way to get out of the overnight on-call factory hours. And I decided to therefore go to business school. And one of my mentors told me at the time, I think I was lamenting that that strategy wasn't working well to get business, for example. And she said, I go to a networking event and I try to have 2, maybe 3 real conversations. And if that's all I leave with, that's enough.
I think people learning how to tap into, be a giver in a network, but also maximize their network and not just be a professional visitor, that's a win. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a win. It's way more important to have a few deeper connections than a bunch of superficial ones. So women often take a step back in our career, and often that step back is a full-time stay-at-home mom step back. I don't think we have to do that. I feel like there is a place for part-time professional work, even within a full-time life. And that's the foundation of my business. Women Plus Workplaces is a place where women who want to maintain a professional, flexible, part-time career can meet up with workplaces that already offer that kind of work. And our mission in general is to normalize that part-time professional. It's so hard to start your own business and have a sounding board that understands. And a lot of women choose entrepreneurship, like I did, to have that flexibility for career plus children. And the biggest fear in the beginning was financial. I was married. I didn't really need to worry about where the mortgage would get paid. But back to my personal background, I think the fear of me not being able to be independent if push came to shove and I had to be, or having a huge gap in my resume and finding it challenging to be financially independent, that was a huge fear.
If we truly knew all the things, all the potential setbacks, all the challenges, it might be in some cases too intimidating to start. So it's good to, yes, you want to do due diligence where you can. We've talked about that with some other guests on other shows, but it's also healthy to recognize there's no possible way I'm going to know everything. So some of it's just going to have to be figure outable. I'm just going to have to be open to the fact that I'm going to have to figure it out as I go. And even that is like, did you die?
I remember in college feeling like if I don't do something only because I'm afraid, that is not a good enough reason. If I only stop doing something because I'm afraid, if you can identify that, articulate it, and force yourself to push through it. I know that I look stupid sometimes and whatever. I've decided not to care. Well, the most recent is Stop, Starting, Start, Finishing. It's a book aimed at C-suite executives who come up with fantastic ideas all the time and often would like to implement them in their organizations, sometimes overwriting the ones they had last month or last quarter that aren't yet done. I try to explain the why behind coming up with concise, well-scoped projects so that people can get some results, feel like they're making progress, and have satisfaction in their work before just piling on more. That doesn't mean you can't pivot. It does mean you have to be intentional. So Stop, Starting, Start, Finishing is about that. And my quote is, ambiguity is the enemy of execution. I think I was born with that desire to achieve that type A personality. I would probably be an insufferable human being if I didn't have 4 kids. They have definitely mellowed me out and helped me realize that some things matter and some things don't. I feel like I'm a lifelong learner and I'm very curious. And sometimes the curiosity is, what's going to happen?